Hello, hello. I am so sorry, guys. Peace and love. Peace and love. I was on StreamYard on my Facebook, but was not clicked into my YouTube. So forgive me, family, for that. So since I am late on YouTube and I've already went through some stuff on Facebook, I'm just going to kind of go right into the subject. And pretty much we're talking about tonight I'm actually down a little bit. I'm recovering from COVID. As a lot of you on YouTube know, I have been out of pocket, but I have been doing a lot of work and traveling. Uh, just got back not too long ago. I spent a month in Tennessee, and I'm just back. I'm trying to get back in my groove and rhythm, and then I got sick. So, life. That's about it. So, but I'm back. But I was going through the channel today, and I ran across. I started watching a YouTuber called Max V. I started watching him with the Nature Boy trial. I really like Max V's vibe. So I continue to watch him off and on when I get a chance. And he had a clip about one of Nature Boy's so called wives, Zoka, and her expressing herself. And it really fit into a subject that I wanted to get into with some ladies. I want to have an open panel with some ladies about why our young women are getting so caught up in these abusive, polygamous type relationships and cults. What are they seeking? And I thought that she really answered that, even though I don't even think she knows she did. She does. I don't even think that she understood that she was having a cry and a plea for help. So, first, I want to give a shout out to Max V. Max V, I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna use a small clip of what you put up today. And also, I'll give a shout out to Medea. I started looking at Medea also with the trial. The T. Now, the T really covered the trial. If you have not seen a lot of the clips of the Nature Boy trial, the T has some good clips. And of course, King World. Shout out to King World and the Beam Team. They really covered it. But King World's been covering, Nature Boy for years and probably got the most footage on Nature Boy. But I'm not really here to talk about Nature Boy. I'm really here to talk about these young women who have gotten caught up in this situation. Also, I want to give a shout out to some great YouTubers that I watch a lot: Queen Throne, Uncle Shug, Neo X. Shout out to all of you guys, um, and hoping that all you doing well. Now, I probably won't be long because, like I say, I'm kind of dealing with COVID, but I'm about over it. I'm just kind of dealing with the fever at night more than anything. That fever ain't no joke. You be hallucinating everything, boy. So, but this is like third time, excuse me, I've had COVID. So it's not new. So I kind of understand um, what I'm going to be dealing with. But, anyways, I'm going to go ahead. I want to share my screen. I want to share a clip and I'm going to try to get it to the piece. It's so hard when you're trying to get your little piece, your little clip together. But I'm gonna share this part. Make sure I got it. It's like about right here. I don't go too far. Uh, nope, it's too far back. There you go, right there.
To start your healing, especially if you want, as a woman, you want to heal and you know you have a divine purpose.
No.
And when you find that divine she is, going off the old program of white supremacy because that's all she knows. That's the only world that she knows. She knows monogamy. She knows a single parent home. Her mama was masculine, or she didn't have no mama or no daddy at all. So she had to come up with these walls and barriers. There's a whole bunch of walls Black women got up. And we're compassionate for that because I understand how it is. It's hard when you have generational curses and the things that you're going through as a woman and you're lost on where to go or where to start your healing, especially if you want, as a woman, you want to heal and you know you have a divine purpose. And when you find that defined purpose out, it might not be or look like how you might have wanted to look, honey.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop it right there because I want to say this. If you notice, as she starts to talk about um generational curses and trying to find out who she is, her voice starts to shake. She is starting to be emotional about what she's talking about. She's feeling what she's talking about. And it is still hurting her. Now, one thing that I do understand is that hurt people hurt people. And when you are not healed from a trauma yourself, that trauma is normally passed on. Most of us have some trauma in our lives, and our mothers had trauma, their grandmothers, our grandfathers, their fathers, especially in America with slavery and things that we have suffered. And then I'm gonna say all over the world because women all over the world go through um, a lot of the same things. Um, so when you are young and you don't have a good roadmap and you don't have good guidance, you do. When you turn 18 and you're like, hey, the world is slapping me in my face. I gotta find a job. I don't know what kind of job. Hey, I want a man. I don't know what kind of man I want. Do I want children? I don't know if I want children. What is this world about? When it comes to religion, what is real? You got now, especially with the way the internet has opened up, and a lot of times, a lot of young people, and please hear me on this, knowledge can be good if you have the understanding of it. Knowledge can be bad if you don't. Um, and what is happening is a lot of our young people are getting knowledge, but they don't have the understanding or the discernment or the wisdom to handle what they are taking in. It's kind of like if I give you a bottle of Tylenol and you know you've read the Tylenol will help with fever, Tylenol will help with headaches, Tylenol will help with body aches. And you take the Tylenol and the Tylenol, um, you say, okay, I take this Tylenol, it's gonna make me feel better. Well, if you don't understand that if you take too much Tylenol too close together, it become damaging. Um, and if you take too many, it can harm you to the point of you closing your eyes and not waking up. The same with aspirin. Aspirin is good for headaches, but a lot of people don't understand that if you take too much aspirin, it burns the lining of your stomach and causes you ulcers. So, knowledge is about the same thing. If you don't take that knowledge and you're not applying it to your life where it is healthy and helping you to grow, it is helping you to be happy. It is helping you to be prosperous. It is helping you to be successful. Then maybe that knowledge that you're taking in, you're not understanding it, or you're not um, being able to discern what is actually being said, especially if you're getting pieces and bits. And so I see that so much on the YouTube. Now with this young lady, she's crying out. She's being all tough and bad, but then if you notice in the background, she has Nature Boy playing. So he's still drilling his thoughts and the way he perceived things in their head. So she's actually repeating a lot of what she's hearing as far as how she should respond to her not being whole or not being healed or not understanding who she is. So take a look. Just want you to listen to this again. This is this clip, and then we're gonna go back because I want to show you what when you have wrong knowledge will do. Go back this a little bit.
Going off the old program of white supremacy because that's all she knows. That's the only world that she knows. She knows monogamy. She knows a single parent home. Her mama was masculine, or she didn't have no mama or no daddy at all. So she had to come up with these walls and barriers. There's a whole bunch of walls Black women got up. And we're compassionate for that because I understand how it is. It's hard when you have generational curses and the things that you're going through as a woman and you're lost on where to go or where to start your healing, especially if you want, as a woman, you want to heal and you know you have a divine purpose. And when you find that divine purpose out, it might not be or look like how you might have wanted to look, honey. Reflection. Because our program of how we thought what love was and how it's supposed to be expressed was wrong. Our program for our relationship and how it's supposed to be ran and how many members is supposed to be a part of a relationship and a men being polygamous is wrong.
Okay, so let's get back to what she said. Okay. Let me did I do my copy? I'm gonna put my copyright up for fair use because we are using this as education in a teaching moment. And like I said, this is from Max V. So shout out to Max V. Please go over and join his YouTube channel. He's a great YouTuber, guys. And I like his positive spin on things. So please go over and join Max V. But back to what she said. Let's start off with the top thing that she talked about, monogamy. And that we were taught that monogamy was the right way to do it. And so that's all we know. So we don't know about polygamy. Let's put this in perspective. In the United States of America, monogamy is illegal. Okay? It's illegal. Period. There's a reason why it's illegal. This is not the only country that it's illegal in. And the reason being is that when you have multiple relationships, you have multiple problems. Okay? You have multiple problems. Every relationship is going to have its ups and downs because people go through things, people change, people get hurt, people lose jobs, people get sick. So, a lot of things that you go through. So, a relationship itself is going to have its ups and downs. It is one thing to have ups and downs with one person. It is a whole nother game when you're going through those ups and downs every day, every month with several different people. That is a lot of weight and burden that can be carried. Um, and it can cause a lot of problems because in these relationships, you have the fact that all these women have to be taken care of. And a lot of times, what happen is that men who are not wealthy get several wives with 15, 20 kids, and those wives and kids wind up on the welfare system because he cannot support them. So that is a problem. That's why in America, monogamy, part of the reason why, is illegal. Not only that, when you're in intimacy with different women, then you're going to have illnesses. You're going to have those women are going to be visiting the doctor quite often. Why? Because everyone's pH balance and bacteria is not the same. So you're going to have problems and all these different things that come from that. What kind of house? These women are not supposed to be living in the same house. Each woman is supposed to be provided the same exact living condition and quarters. Can this man afford all these houses? No, he cannot. Can he afford a house big enough for all of them? And if he do, you know how it was to live at home with your sisters. Can you imagine living at home with 5 or 6 women that you don't know? So it's going to cause problems. It's going to cause animosity. Even throughout the Bible and the Quran, when you look at the men who were married um, to more than one wife, they had problems. And the Muhammad said in the Quran, he said, one wife is good as if only you know, because you have to deal with all those situations. And most men can't deal with one woman, let alone 4, 5, or 6. Somebody's going to get abused, somebody's going to get neglected, and somebody's going to get left out. So you have to ask yourself, are you that person who wants to be neglected, that you feel like that you're not worthy to be loved and cared for by that one person? So when we look at monogamy in America, there are reasons for that rule. It wasn't just something they came up with and said, hey, we're going to do this. There were reasons for it. The same as over in China, where they have that you can't have more than 2 children. It was because they could not continue to support so many people in that country. So in order to keep control of the country where they can feed everybody and house everybody, they had to put the rule in. So when she talks about the monogamy, if there's a reason why that we do that here in America. Now, then she goes into the masculinity. Well, with the masculinity side of the house, you have to look at it like this. There's a reason why women have become so masculine in the way we live. And one reason is the fact that um, we've had to. It wasn't the fact that we just woke up one day and said, hey, I want to be the man of the house. But for so many women, we had to go out and get jobs. We had to buy our own house. We had to raise the children. We had to, because we had no one else to do it. I had to learn how to change my tire. I remember I had to put the master cylinder on one of my old cars one time because I couldn't afford to go somewhere. So the guy next door said, hey, I'll help you, but you're going to have to learn how. So I put a master cylinder on my own car. It wasn't that I wanted to, it was that I had to. And once you have done that majority of your life, it is very hard to give it that control and just believe that someone else is going to come in and take care of you. So it's not that women have wanted to necessarily have that masculine side. A lot of women have had to. Now let's go on and listen. I want to listen a little bit more because I really want y'all to get what she's saying and how she's expressing how she's feeling. Let me move back that far. Right. Let me see here.
Curses and the things that you're going through as a woman, and you're lost on where to go or where to start your healing, especially if you.
Okay, then you hear that. She said you're lost on where to go and where to start your healing. Why are so many of our young people lost? Why are they lost and don't understand? With all of the organizations and things that we have, why are they lost? We have to ask ourselves today, what is really going on? And I think part of the problem is because TV was raising our children and now the internet is raising our children.
As a woman, you want to heal and you know you have a divine purpose. And when you find that divine purpose out, it might not be or look like how you might have wanted to look, honey. Reflection. Because Our program of how we thought what love was and how it's supposed to be expressed was wrong. Our program for our relationship and how it's supposed to be ran and how many members is supposed to be a part of a relationship and a men being polygamous is wrong.
I think we all somewhat programmed.
So right here, she goes into um her own programming. What Nature Boy has programmed, how he has programmed her really. Um and that's what that is. Um this man has programmed, if you look here, and these women are sitting in the background, watching this man. Oh, my yard stream yard is so small. I don't know what it's doing. What is you doing? I can tell you do that. But he has programmed these women. The whole time she was talking, his voice was in the background. He's programmed her. It taught her what love was, and what it should look like, what love should be, how she should feel. But she said she was she was trying to find herself. You know, we have failed our people. And we're failing them more and more because now we're giving them knowledge, but we're not giving them the understanding. We're not giving them the correct discernment of that knowledge. The Bible is good if you know how to apply it. I don't try to teach people to believe one thing or another. Either you are a believer or you are not. That's why they're called believers. You believe what fits you and what fits your lifestyle, whether that be the Bible, whether that be the Torah, whether that be the Quran, um, whether that be uh, the teachings of Kemet, Buddhism, uh, Confucius. But whatever that teaching is, if it is not affecting your life in a positive manner, if you are not growing, if you are not happy, if you're not fulfilled, there is something wrong with either the way you are perceiving it or the way that you have discerned what is actually being said. He taught these young ladies that they needed to be taught by a man who they are. When they were born into this world, they were who they are. Now, what they need to find is their purpose. And hiding doesn't find your purpose. Making mistakes, going out in the world, experiencing different things, that helps you find your purpose. Understanding what makes you happy, understanding what makes you sad, understanding what you need in your life, that brings you to your purpose. Can't nobody tell you that. Though your purpose, you find your purpose out on your journey in life of who you are. But if, like I said again, whatever you are studying or practicing is not bringing you happiness, contentment, and fulfillment, something is wrong with it. A man can't bring you that. A child can't bring you that. Money won't bring you that. We have celebrities and they're messed up all over the world and they got plenty of money. Why? Because they have not found that divine purpose, what it is that God had put for them to do. And some of us, our purpose is quite simple. There's nothing wrong if your purpose is just being a mother and raising the next Barack Obama or raising the next Martin Luther King or um, Mr. Louis Farrakhan's or whoever. It's great purpose in that. Your purpose may be in the next person who have the greatest outreach feeding the homeless or teaching autistic children. If you want to go out in nature, that's fine. If you want to be more in tune with nature, that's fine. But how do you do that? That should bring you joy in digging in the dirt and growing your own food and having your own livestock and building your own home and digging a well. If you're going to go out there, then do it right. Not like this. This is not it. And this is not bringing you happiness. What it has done is brings you some community. And some people are so lost that they just want to feel like they belong to something. Some people join churches they know they shouldn't be in, organizations they shouldn't have to deal with, gangs. Why do you think young people join gangs? Because they want to feel that community. They want to feel like they're part of something. Not necessarily they're happy in it. They may like a person or two in it, but the system itself they're upset with. Look at our young women, beautiful young women. But they don't have purpose. And we've got to do better, guys. We've got to give our young people purpose. We've got to give them more. But we got to be real and got to quit this fakeness we got. And I get so upset. I really get upset when I see how, and I don't get into YouTube beefs and arguments and all of that and trying to make you believe something I believe or nothing like that. But what I do hate is liars, and I do hate when people are outright bending the truth for their narrative because it affects our young people in a terrible way. And my thing is, if you don't believe in the Bible, then leave it alone. Just say I don't believe in it. If you don't believe in the Quran, leave it alone. Talk about what you do believe in. If you got to down one thing to make your thing look better, then maybe there's something wrong with your thing. Because if you talk about what you believe in and show the goodness in what you believe in, then if that is the truth for that person will follow that. You don't have to down other stuff. I hear all on YouTube, um, as a community, we're talking about how bad the Bible is, how much it's a lie, how Kemet is a lie, how black people aren't black, how black people aren't slaves, how we're Indians, um, 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 how Hebrew Israelites aren't Hebrew Israelites, how all this stuff. I don't hear nobody talking about how bad the devil is, how bad sin is. I don't hear nobody really telling these girls, hey, if you go out here and fornicate and have sex with men who are not your husband and have babies, this is going to be the result. I don't hear people talking about how bad, if you catch a STD, how serious that is and what the implications long term can be. I don't hear us teaching our kids about becoming educated as far as a career or owning their own business. We hear a few out there, don't get me wrong, that talk about it, but I'm talking about in the whole. We got too much of the garbage and not the good stuff. So we're feeding all this negative stuff to our young people instead of the positive stuff and telling them, look, you can go dance with the devil, but here is the results. So now we have all these young women who have joined these cults and these polygamous things, and they are so messed up. But they weren't taught to be good mothers to their children. Some of them left their children. That's a stain on your heart that you will never, ever heal. They need to be taught that. They need to be taught that a lot of things that you do when you're younger You're going to feel them when you get older. I tell all young people, I say, if you get a chance and you don't go to college, go into the military. They say, I ain't going to the military. Let me tell you something. When you get over 40, benefits mean a whole lot to your life. Now we talk about we don't want the government and I don't want to live off the government and I don't want to follow the man. But when your body break down and you get diabetes, stroke, or whatever you get, I promise you, I don't care how long you so-called lived off the land, lived off the grid, not wanted a job, you're going to wish you had a job and some benefits. Because when your health go down, you're going to go down to that office and you're going to get Medicaid, you're going to get Medicare, you're going to get food stamps or whatever else that they're willing to give you because you have gotten too old and your body is hurting and you need medication that you can't afford to get. You're going to think about what you're doing now, what you did back in your past. So these young women, they have not been taught by this brainwash system that they've been in that, hey, I should be working, I should be producing, even if it's no more than me producing for myself. If I sew, then let me sew and sell it. If I'm an artist, let me do my art, but let me provide a living for me and for the children I've already created. Where do I go from here? And what is love? Love is not supposed to hurt. Love is sacrifice. But love is not supposed to be abusive. I'm not supposed to allow you to abuse me and say that's love. Is love truth? Yes. But with that truth comes some compassion. I don't beat you up with love. I don't need to. I need to beat you up with truth. So what is your view of love? What is your view of a man being polygamous and monogamous? What is that view? All men do not want to be polygamous. So do not believe that. Do they have desires? Yes, you have desires. But that's what the whole Bible and the Quran and stuff is about you being a master of your flesh. Have you ever wondered why every country, city, state has laws? Because if there were not laws and everybody moved just by their flesh, there would be total chaos. There would be no structure. There would be none. You couldn't drive down the street safe. You couldn't walk safe. You wouldn't have electricity. You wouldn't have water. Every law was put into place to have a society that was that would be safe for you to live and conduct life in. There has to be rules. You can't move by your flesh. There are some things of your flesh that you have to overcome. There are some demons that you have to overcome them. But my father told me a long time ago, if you want to learn how to be rich, you don't talk to a poor man, you talk to a rich man. If you want to learn how to be happy and successful, you talk to someone who's happy and successful. If you want to be healed, you find someone who's healed, not someone who's hurting just as bad as you. And a man can't understand a woman's hurts just like a woman can't understand a man's, not to the core. We can have sympathize, but I've never walked in a man's shoes. So I don't know a man's burden in that aspect. And a man has never carried a baby, so he doesn't know mine in that aspect. We've got to do better by our young women. We've got to do better by what we say with our mouths. You're judged by your own mouth. Karma is something. But you are judged by everything that you say out of your mouth. Or even about someone else. It comes back to you. It comes back to your life. You want a calm life, you got to stay out of mess. You've got to. You want a positive life, bring more positive things into your life. Do more positive things. But you cannot bury things and think that it's going to be all right. Some things you have to face and you have to conquer. You ladies have to face and conquer those demons. You can't hide them. You can't walk away from them. And then you learn from your mistakes and do better. That's what tomorrow is for. It's a chance to get it right. Tomorrow is always a chance to get it right. And even though my mom or my grandmother didn't do this or that, guess what? I can. I believe I raised my daughters better. Not that my mom was a bad mom, but she had her ways too. But my mom was too close to slavery. I woke up with crosses burning in our yard. So I understand the fear. So, but I believe I raised my daughters better. And I pray that they raise their daughters better than I raised them. You learn from your mistakes and you grow. But that growth has to come from the inside. And the first thing with that growth, you have to love yourself. You have to love you. You can't give what you don't got. And letting people abuse you, talk to you in a kind of way, calling you bees and hoes and whatever else, that is not the way. That's not showing you love, and that's not helpful criticism. That's not the way it works. So I just want to say that I want to put this out there because I just saw that little clip and I was just like, I really felt for her because I saw her pain and I saw her still reaching out because she's a young woman. And you know, we have to remember that people like this, they gravitate to our young when they're young. They get them at that stage right there, 16 and early 20s. That's the grooming stage because they're still growing. Their minds are still growing. They're still reaching out and trying to find themselves. So we have to do better with combating with society and what it is teaching our young people that this sex thing is free and there's no cost to it. There's a cost. Right now, our foster care systems are overran with children that don't have parents. It's a cost. Okay? The free sex is not it. HIV is up again in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a cost. You know, so we have to do better with having them to understand why there are rules, why there are laws to make you do better, make you live better. If you don't learn anything else about the Bible, learn the 10 commandments and why the 10 commandments were put in place. Those 10 commandments are not for God, they're for you. Or the 40 two confessions of Mayat, where he says, I have not committed, I have not done, to prove his heart is good. That's for you to be better, to become better, to grow. The less negative you have in your life, the less negative that you will get. The more positive you put in life, more positive things that will come out. It's kind of like this. If you go to work, you get a check. You don't go to work, you don't get a check. The Bible says a man don't work, don't eat. Okay? So you have to ask yourself, where am I? What I want, where am I? Where do I want to be? Do a checklist. Write a list down. I tell my daughter all the time, the best friend you got is a piece of paper. Write down your goals and your dreams and what you want. And then write down how you think you can get there. And sometimes you got to take baby steps. Sometimes you might have to do a job to get to the next thing. You might, like my daughter that writes, She writes. She writes books. But guess what? She works because she hasn't become that best-selling author yet. So her job funds her work that she loves doing. That's what she loves doing. My work funds me to help people, to give to the homeless and things that we do. That's what my job does. It helps me to do that. I couldn't do that if I didn't make money. So you have to ask yourself, what is it that you want? Who do you want to be? Not who somebody done told you you are. Who do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in the next year, 2 years, 5 years? Don't just sit on your behind and wish for it. Make it happen. Make it happen. Even McDonald's got a college program. The military, you can go all over the world. When you get in the military, guys, you don't have to be fighting. There are all kind of MOSs. You can be a secretary. You can be a cook. You can even play in the band. All they do is play in the band. Okay? It's so much. You can be a lawyer. You can be a doctor. You can be a nurse. Travel all over the world. And at the same time, be building a life for yourself. There's so much you could do. There's all kind of programs out there. You can go to DFACS. They got all kind of work programs to help you. But you got to do something. There are programs that teach you how to be an entrepreneur. Find one. Right now, you could be doing stuff on Amazon, selling on all kind of things. But whatever it is, guys, let it be productive. And I'm going to say this. For all the people that have told you that you got to get out of society and get away from the system and the white man system, let me tell you something. You will always be a part of this system because you're in a system that's already built. You were born into it. Even if you go get your own land, guess what? You got to pay taxes on that land. Goes back to the white man. You want to grow your own food. You got to go buy the seeds. You got to go to the white man's store. You want a cell phone. You got to pay them for the cell phone. Okay? So you're always on some point going to be a part of the system. You may not be fully said, I want to get a job with the master, but guess what? You're still paying into the system. And every time you need something, guess what? You're going to that hospital. You're going to that doctor. Okay? You're going to always be a part of the system. You just have to ask yourself, how much of it am I going to be a part of? How much of my life am I going to give to it? But what you cannot do is ask other people who have given their life and working hard every day, struggling in this system to give you things so you can just sit up under a tree and do nothing. It doesn't work like that. You're a part of it, whether you know it or not. The clothes you got on, did you make the material? No, you brought it. So you're still a part of it. Wherever you're living, whose that roof you under, it's not yours. You're part of the system. So get out of the falsehood of thinking that you're not, because you are. Okay? Now, this is just some big mama talk, because a lot of us don't have big mamas no more. But if you really want to get out from under what you're under, if you really want someone to talk to, if you really, really want the truth, if you really want to grow, hit my channel up. Hit me up, DM me anytime. Anytime, because I'm going to be real with you, and I'm not going to play. Like I said, I don't do YouTube beefs. I ain't going back and forth with people. But for those who really want, to talk and have some understanding, hit me up and we can talk, and I will help you any way I can, because that's who I am. That is my gift. That is my purpose. So guys, it was great again coming to you guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not. Hit the like button. Again, a shout out to all of my family and friends. I'm going to try to start back coming on. I think I'm going to do a Friday night vibes for the one channel. Then my other channel, I'm going to do Tuesday, Taco Tuesday still. But for this channel, I think I'm just going to do Friday night vibes. And as we build the channel up with hotter topics. But I'm going to come back to this topic for sure. And we're going to talk more about how we get caught up as women in these relationships that we know are not healthy and good for us. So while these women are still hot and on this topic with Nature Boy, I will continue. I will continue to kind of talk about it and report on it, because I really want our young women to do better, and I really want them to see that they have a purpose. But finding that purpose is getting out there in life and finding it. There's not no one telling you your purpose. It's you going out there and experiencing things and finding what that purpose is. All right, guys, I love you, but God loves you best. And I will most definitely talk to you guys again next week. Please subscribe, hit the like button. And if you have anything you need to say, just email me. You can email me on Zion Facts on Facebook. And I'll get back with you guys. Or my Instagram page is Zion on Zion Facts on Instagram. All right, guys, be good to yourselves.